Hello, you're watching Addleshaw Goddard's Employment Channel. Today's programme is a bit of a seasonal special, focusing on some potential holiday headaches that might be rearing their head at this time of year. We'll be discussing a recent decision from the Employment Appeal Tribunal, or EAT, on the thorny issue of holiday and sickness, as well as recapping where we are in the long-running saga of calculating holiday pay in relation to overtime payments. First up then, holidays and sickness. At this time of year, many employees are planning or about to go on holiday from work over the summer. Whilst we don't want to expect problems, we all know they can crop up. For example, what if an employee becomes ill just before they're due to go on holiday, or even while they're on holiday? How should employers be handling these situations? Well, the European Court of Justice has made it clear over recent years that statutory annual leave serves a health and safety purpose. Put simply then, sick leave isn't the same as holiday. So if employees become ill in advance of a pre-arranged holiday, they are entitled to reschedule to take that holiday later on in the holiday year, or if that's not possible, even carry it forward to the next holiday year. The same principle applies where employees become sick during their holiday. In the recent case of Plum and Duncan Print Group Limited, the EAT confirmed that workers on sick leave don't have to provide evidence that they are physically unable to take their holiday to be able to carry it over. It's simply enough that they're absent on sick leave and don't choose to take holiday during that period. The EAT also confirmed that leave can only be carried over for 18 months from the end of the leave year in which it accrues. This clears up previous confusion from other cases as to whether this carryover period was limited to 15 or 18 months. So we now know that any accrued leave which goes beyond that cut-off period of 18 months will lapse. Should either of these issues crop up for you this summer, we hope this recap helps. Alternatively, please don't hesitate to get in touch with me or a member of our team, and we'd be happy to help. Moving on then to potentially an even bigger headache, we now come to the ongoing saga of calculating holiday pay and overtime payments. We've all been grappling with this ever since the EAT's landmark decision in the case of Bear Scotland last November. As you no doubt remember, the EAT ruled that employees receiving regular payments for working non-guaranteed overtime are entitled to receive those payments in their holiday pay. This is because, relying on previous European case law, the EAT said that holiday pay should reflect normal pay. So in addition to basic salary, holiday pay may also include any payments, allowances or supplements that are regularly paid to employees as a direct reward for carrying out tasks related to their contractual role. The decision also came hot off the back of a previous European decision which had ruled that commission must also be included in the calculation of holiday pay. However, in relation to overtime payments, it wasn't clear whether all types of overtime payments had to be included in holiday pay or not. In Bear Scotland, the EAT didn't have to address genuinely voluntary overtime, although their reasoning did suggest that if it was worked regularly, it would also need to be included because it would fall within that concept of normal pay. However, in the case of Paterson and Castlereagh Borough Council in December 2014, an industrial tribunal in Northern Ireland, or tribunal for short, ruled that purely voluntary overtime shouldn't be included in holiday pay. This caused some confusion at the time, as some of the tribunal's findings appeared to be inconsistent with what the EAT had said, and some commentators warned that the tribunal's decision should be treated with caution. Perhaps it was no great surprise then when the decision was appealed to the Northern Ireland Court of Appeal. Where do things stand now then? Well, just a few weeks ago, we received judgment from the Northern Ireland Court of Appeal, who confirmed that there's no reason why voluntary overtime shouldn't be included in statutory paid leave, and that it'll be a question of fact for each tribunal to determine whether or not that voluntary overtime is normally carried out and whether the remuneration is sufficiently permanent to mean that it should be included. Put simply, this decision means voluntary overtime may, in principle, count towards holiday pay in Northern Ireland. The case has now been sent back to the tribunal in Northern Ireland to make a decision on the particular facts. What does this mean then for employers in England, Wales and Scotland? Well, although the decision is only binding in Northern Ireland and not the rest of the UK, decisions from the Northern Ireland Court of Appeal are seen as persuasive by British courts and tribunals where there aren't existing binding cases on a point. So, this decision could well influence the outcome of future cases in England, Wales and Scotland. Currently, the ACAS guide to calculating holiday confirms that guaranteed and normal non-guaranteed overtime should be considered when calculating a worker's statutory holiday pay, but there's currently no definitive case law that suggests voluntary overtime needs to be taken into account. Well, while strictly speaking, this advice is still true for England, Wales and Scotland, it may be advisable to treat it with some caution following this decision. So the issue of including voluntary overtime payments in holiday pay remains another aspect of taking holiday that could still cause headaches for employers this summer. Is there any sign of a cold flannel to ease your weary brow, I hear you ask? Well, probably the best news for employers in relation to holiday pay this summer is that since the 1st of July, employees will now only be able to backdate any holiday pay claims for up to 2 years. So far, whilst some employers have been unlucky enough to receive claims in just before that date of the 1st of July, we haven't seen a huge volume of claims land to the extent that were perhaps first feared. Hopefully this suggests that employers, unions and employees are successfully communicating and navigating those tricky waters of calculating holiday pay and working together to reach a workable solution. However, if this is something that your business is currently tackling and you would like to take further advice, please do get in touch using the contact details at the bottom of the screen. Well, that's all for today from Addleshaw Goddard's Employment Channel. All that remains is to wish you a happy holiday season. I hope any headaches are kept to a minimum. Thank you for watching and see you next time.